Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday, Fantasy Life, right here with you on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam, Ronis with you for the next 2 hours, getting you ready for everything Week 7, breaking down all the matchups, answering all your start-sit questions, and of course, going through the Icy Hot Bowl, Adam, because we said yesterday, hey, we think this is going to be a good game, but that totally blew all of my expectations out of the water. It was such a good game. We won't talk about the Mariners. How are you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, it was the night of the 40-year-olds, Aaron
It was
Rodgers, Joe
great.
Flacco, and Max Scherzer.
Stop. What are you doing? Don't do this. You know how hard, let me just say this. You know how hard it is to make that man look good right now? It's
He
crazy. How
he's a
can you do
dog
that?
though, like big
He,
spot.
he, listen,
I'm
he
not
is.
surprised.
I am. I'm a little bit surprised, but it's fine.
It's all
We
right. You
roll
got this
on.
today. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
it'll be fine. They just love to this, but here's the thing. Here's what I told people yesterday that were like, "Oh, you should be celebrating. You're up to or 2 days ago, whatever. You're up 2-0." No, this is what being a Mariners fan is like. It's just you just have to roll with it. So, welcome. This is what
Well,
it
and
is
it's
every
the early
single
game
time.
for you today too,
I know,
so
three
you
o'clock. I'm loving it.
yeah,
I'll be up. I was up yesterday. I was
you'll
good to
have dinner
go.
during the game and then
Yeah,
go right to
probably.
sleep, right?
Yeah, basically. Once it's
Perfect
done, like a
night.
little 6:15. Yeah, it'll be great. So then Dodgers are after, huh? Dodgers are the late
Yes.
one tonight. Nice.
Yeah,
That is
that's
boring.
over.
Yeah, that is. I don't know.
They're
That's
too
so.
good.
I think baseball called up and just told the Mariners, you know what? You've
I
got this,
told you,
but we
yeah, they
need
need an
to.
extended
We need.
series.
We can't have both of these be done by Saturday. We need something going on. So it's fine. Everything's fine. And maybe it won't be on Monday, but we'll talk about that as it comes on. But yeah, this game last night. Oh my goodness, that was so fun to watch. It was so entertaining. And yeah, like I said, our expectations were they were there, but I mean, come on. Jamar Chase putting up 38.1 fantasy points. Pat Fryermuth is up there with 28. Joe Flacco with 25. Aaron Rodgers with 22. T. Higgins coming out, 21 fantasy points. I can keep going. Jalen Warren had 18. Noah Fant got in. Chase Brown, had a great day. And this was really, we can start with the Cincinnati Bengals because they did end up winning this game 33-31 at Paycor Stadium. It was Evan McPherson had that 36-yard field goal, 7 seconds to play, and it was the game winner. Joe Flacco though was just finding Jamar Chase wherever he could. Did you see that video when he had that one drop?
Yeah,
Did you
in
see
his
Joe Flacco's
face.
face? He
Yeah.
was like, "What? He does that?" But what was your reaction? I know that people are pissed now at the Browns for trading Joe Flacco and more specifically Tomlin. He said this, earlier in the week, not yesterday, but I believe it was Monday. He said, "I don't know what you're thinking trading a quarterback, within the division." And it really did turn out to hurt everyone besides the Bengals last night.
Yeah, it was funny too because the fans after the game, when they were the set was interviewing Chase and Flacco, you could hear the fans chanting "Thank you, Cleveland." So
Oh,
that was hilarious.
brutal.
But look, this what we wanted from Flacco when he came in. We're like, just get the ball to Chase and Higgins, and
Yep.
he has delivered and more. Chase in 2 games with him has 26 receptions for 255 yards, 2 touchdowns on 35 targets. And last night, 47 pass attempts, 23 to Chase, 10 to Higgins. So even T. Higgins has come alive.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chase is the headlines, but T. Higgins, 6 for 96 and a touchdown as well. So it's amazing because, again, it was a short week. He came in
Mhm.
last week. He didn't have much time. He even said there were plays that he's like, I don't know what they're calling. So, but hey, when you drop back to pass, and you have Chase and Higgins, it's easy. You're like, all right, I'll
Yeah,
just get
you're
the
like
ball to him.
he's over there somewhere.
But the key is he's getting the ball out quickly. Browning was
Yes.
not doing that. That's the big difference. And the offensive line did play well. Run blocking was better too. I mean, Chase Brown is still, we saw a little bit too much Samaje Perine, but at least Chase Brown looked good and had some long runs and got 100 yards. Only 2 receptions for him though, but at least he looked better running the football.
Absolutely. Yeah, his longest rush was just 13 yards coming into the night, and he was able to surpass that. And he was averaging only 2.7 yards per attempt. We've talked about how bad Chase Brown has been, and it was nice to kind of finally see him racking up 108 yards, 11 carries. And that was more, I mean, Pittsburgh had trouble with their defense, and that feels like maybe a theme that we've talked about.
Putting it
It's just
lightly.
Well, I know. I'm trying to be nice here.
I don't.
The Steelers defense has been at its best when they stop the run,
When they
right? It's
play
just one of
Cleveland.
it's well, that too. It's just one of those things where you get a team into the one-dimensional football and you say, "Okay, at least we're stopping your run. We know what you're going to have to do now." And but that only works when the run is stopped and they're just not doing it. I mean, they let the Bengals do this. We haven't seen a game like this from Chase Brown. And so they not only had success through the air, but they had good success on the ground. So it was an overall great Bengals win. And yeah, you said it. Jamar Chase is insane. I'm so sorry to anyone waking up or watching that game and you're facing Jamar Chase.
Oh, I am.
I apologize. Really?
I'm going against Chase and Higgins in one league.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the same guy that also had Burrow? Like got the whole
Yes.
team on his?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your chances now to win?
Oh, probably nothing.
Okay.
You
I
know
was
my
gonna
running
say.
backs in that league, they
Yeah,
suck.
it's
So,
it's
and all
so
the
tough to
injuries I
start
have.
your weekend like that. It's so brutal. But Jamar Chase became the fourth receiver in NFL history with 2 games of at least 14 catches in a single season. Again, Flacco, 342, 3 touchdowns in this win. And you just hope that this continues. I also think, Adam, that this was a pivotal win just for the organization going forward. Like this it's not to be dramatic, but this really was a must-win game in October. And we talked about that the same way last year with this team, with some of these games coming up, because they could not afford another loss. And so you have to think that this organization and team is so happy to be able to at least get this because going forward, they're still in the mix. And that was why this game was so big for them.
Well, the other thing is they are in the mix for the division as well.
Mhm.
And I checked last night. I don't know if it's changed, but this was like, I don't know, 1 a.m. Eastern. The odds
Yeah.
to win the division now on DraftKings, Pittsburgh is plus 120, Baltimore's plus 135. So
Wow.
remember, Baltimore is favored even when they were like 1-4 for a
And that was
bit.
just a few days ago.
And look at the Bengals schedule upcoming: home to the Jets, home to the Bears, at Pittsburgh, home to New England. So
Nice.
they do get the Ravens twice. Now, I think most of us expect the Ravens to be better with Lamar Jackson returning and maybe get some more players back healthy on the defensive side of the football. But Cincinnati is right there in the division. And again, if they can somehow keep it together, there is a chance that we see Joe Burrow mid-December.
Yeah, he was there on the sidelines last night. You see that?
Was that in the first half? I remember I missed the first
Oh
half.
yeah,
I
you
have
were
to go
playing
back and watch
softball.
it.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, you had it was you from start to finish. It was really fun. Yeah, they were reporting that he was going to be there, so he was there on the sidelines, cheering on his team. There you go,
It worked.
camaraderie. It worked. You win softball, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
Extra
nice.
innings too.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, you win it for him. You hit the walk off
I
or
did
what?
not get the walk-off hit. I wish.
Come on, what are we doing? Anything on the other side here with the Steelers? We mentioned. Do you see? I can't remember when this was. So, did you see Aaron Rodgers get taken down by his own
Yeah.
guy? Okay, that
And
was
get upset.
I
Yeah.
couldn't tell if he was kidding or not,
No,
and then
he was
I
not
said
kidding.
and then I said, "No, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's definitely not
Yeah.
kidding when he gets mad." But anything on this other side, I mentioned some of the fantasy points scored here. Aaron Rodgers obviously should have been recommending both Rodgers and Flacco, but if you needed a streamer in this one, both of those guys were good. But Aaron Rodgers walked away 249 yards there, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and then 22.5 fantasy points. And like I said, Jalen Warren, you were happy to see 19 from him. Pat Fryermuth was out there. Basically, all the tight ends. That's what you have to. It was Pat Fryermuth. It was Darnell Washington. It was Jonnu Smith. They just it was basically National Tight End Day. So what do you
Yeah.
think?
Our guy Joey Brown, who's a regular listener, he told
Yeah.
me he started Rodgers over Drake May. So it worked out
Oh,
for him, right?
nice. Oh, I love
We
that. Woo. Makes
uh,
me nervous.
4 touchdowns for Rodgers, so he played well. Although, so why did he freeze out DK Metcalf after Metcalf with that
I
interception?
think
Because
so.
right?
Yeah. I was trying to look anywhere today to kind of find it and figure it out, but I do think that's what
Yeah, he had
happened.
39-yard reception on the first drive,
Yep.
and then like another catch, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He's on his way to a nice day, and then he finishes 3 for 50. Thank goodness I had 50 yards for him in a parlay that hit. If
Oh,
it,
nice. There you go.
yeah, but I also had his individual prop, and
Oh,
he didn't
well,
go over that. But I'll
can't
take the
win everything.
parlay. Yeah. And Jalen
Still
Warren.
finished. Oh no, he did not. He had 8 points.
Ooh,
Yeesh.
yeah. I'm
Metcalf,
right. Of like that was probably the biggest disappointment in this game.
for
Like pretty
sure.
much everyone else that you started came through except DK Metcalf. Uh, Jaylen Warren, big game. That was something you wanted to see because last week you saw three backs utilized
Yeah.
where Caleb Johnson even got in the game for like around 15 to 20% of the snaps. And again, that could have been because they knew they had the Thursday game and Warren's first game back from injury. They probably didn't want to, give him a heavy workload. And then in this game, he comes through with 20 touches and, some big runs. Obviously, the Bengals' run defense is one we're going to pick on every single week, but that was a good sign for Jaylen Warren because
Hmm.
the game that Gainwell had in London, you were a little concerned, but I don't think there needs to be any concern going forward. And yeah, pick your tight end on Pittsburgh. Look, we know Freiermuth is good. It's just it was perplexing why he wasn't being used a lot to start this year. I mean, he
Yeah.
basically came in what did he came in with, like 78 receiving yards through 5 games and then just blew way past it last night.
Yeah, it was good all around. And I think you called it though. I mean, you said, "Hey, if you have Jaylen Warren, it was a short week anyway, so maybe they were, just being a little bit cautious for that game last week." And I can totally see that cuz
And remember to close the show, you're like, who's going to win? What did I say? I was
hey, we
very
both
worried about
said it.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we said,
Very
"Hey,
worried.
let's pick the
No
Bengals."
chance I was taking them in
I
Survivor.
told you to take come on, live a little. You would have looked great this
All the
morning.
underdogs are winning on Thursday night. Let's see.
That's
Who do we
crazy.
got next week?
Yeah,
Chargers, Vikings. That's probably going to be a close spread.
I was going to
Chargers are
say.
home and they don't really. I mean, obviously, it's going to depend on what happens this week, but I don't think that's going to be a big spread. So I wouldn't count that as like a big underdog. It's going to be
Yeah,
within 3.
it has to be.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, unless they make a change and JJ
Oh,
McCarthy's
yeah. If
back that
McCarthy is
week,
the quarterback, then
then it
Chargers might
will
be favored
be,
by 10.
yeah, yeah, then it might be a little bit of a change. Then we've got Ravens Dolphins. Nice. 2
Yeah.
weeks from now, week 9.
You're going to take the Dolphins as dogs in that one if Lamar's back?
Nope.
I mean,
Sure
that
not.
team could look different too by that point.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got some good games coming
Oh,
up. This
they've
weekend is good
Thursdays
games.
had some good games.
Oh, for sure. What was that last week was well, it was
Giants,
Giants,
Eagles.
Eagles, but that I mean, you were happy with that no matter what. But 34-17, week before that was 49ers Rams, 26-23. Yeah, we've had some good
Well,
games.
a lot of people weren't happy with that one because they were
Well, I
eliminated from
know.
Survivor.
Well, that's okay. We're just talking about it. We're just talking about the game. There really are some good games this weekend. I'm excited. It's a good
Yeah.
slate. I'm going to the Chargers game on Sunday. Was invited.
Are you wearing any jersey for that? Do you
No.
have a Chargers jersey?
I have a Chargers shirt. I don't know
Are
if
you gonna wear it?
No. I like
Okay.
I like Danny Dimes. Maybe I'll
You're
get a
gonna.
Daniel Jones shirt.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, walking it. No, I wouldn't do
Wear
that.
your Seahawks.
No,
No,
no, they're not playing in that game. I don't
you
know.
don't do that.
What's your stance on that?
Um,
Wearing jerseys to games that the
the
jersey
teams
that
aren't
you're wearing, the
playing.
teams aren't playing. I think unless it's like an iconic one that I'm just kind of like, but I don't care what
I
people do.
guess it depends. Like, I don't know. I've been to Mets games where they're not playing the Yankees and people show up with Yankees jerseys. That kind of pisses me off. But I gotta be
That's because
honest.
it's the Yankees.
But if I was to go to if I went to a Yankees game and they weren't playing the Mets, would I wear a Mets jersey? I don't know.
I
I
don't think
might.
you would.
Nah,
Really?
probably not. Yeah, right. It
Like I'm
doesn't.
saying, if it's an iconic jersey or an iconic player, I think that one's fair, but I don't know. Again, I truly don't care at the end of the day. But what about the people that wear jerseys with no NBA jerseys with no shirts on under it? Pass.
Yeah.
Put a shirt on. What are we what are we doing? Anything else? No, I think that game's done. That was a really great game. And again, you were happy basically starting anyone not named DK Metcalf because of course. We said that too earlier in the week and Dwayne brought it up as well that maybe DK Metcalf's a sell high candidate after that game last week because of what we have seen from him through especially the last couple of weeks. And if we thought that he would be able to continue that, he's averaged before this game 21.6 points, and that was over the last 2 games. He had a 27% target share, and he had a really I think his utilization score was close to 80 at fantasylife.com. So it was one of those situations where if you believe that he can continue to do this with Rodgers, then keep him. But if you don't, it might have been the time to sell. But he'll have these games the whole rest of the season.
I mean, this was
Up
his
and
worst
down.
game of the season
For sure.
with 8 points in PPR. His previous worst was looks like 11 in his revenge game against Seattle, where he just got the touchdown but not a lot of yards. So yeah, he's got 4 touchdowns in 6 games, and that's kind of what's carrying at this point. Yeah, it's just you figure he would get in a game like this, you
I
expect
know.
more targets.
They
That's what was surprising, but maybe that interception, that Metcalf had taken away, they're like, "Hey, you know what? I'm not throwing to you no more.
Well,
I'm just gonna go to the tight ends
National Tight End Day is October
next week,
26th.
isn't it?"
Yeah, so they're a week ahead, but maybe
Oh,
they just
boy.
wanted to get in on the action a little bit earlier. We should have known that Kittle was going to be back before then. He can't miss National Tight Ends Day. How many touchdowns is he going for next Sunday? 2? 3?
At least, yeah.
At least. Yeah. We're gonna
Isn't
do that.
I think Kelsey, though, was playing the following day.
Oh,
They're
another Monday
Monday
night
night.
game?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it's the Chiefs. I mean,
of course.
we gotta try and get them in prime time.
Listen, we've seen who did we say? We've seen too many Cowboys games, to be totally honest with you. Too
Well,
many Dolphins.
the Cowboys, they always put in prime time.
Yeah.
And people get upset, but they draw ratings even when they suck because people either love them and want to watch them, or they hate them and want to watch them lose.
Yeah, and we've seen again too many. I'm sorry, Dolphins fans. It was too many Dolphins games so far.
That is
But
true.
yeah, we'll figure it out. Speaking
Well,
of
we'll be
Kittle,
getting to the flexing point soon where we can
that's
flex out of
true.
some of these.
That's true. But they can't do those for the Thursdays are set.
Thursdays are set, and
Yeah, and it's
wait, can they do Monday? No, they can't Monday, right?
I can't
Or can they
remember.
do it late in the year? I forgot. Sunday
I
night,
forget.
definitely.
I
And they
forget.
flex
Everything
sometimes
all
of the 1 p.m.s to the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything all blends together at some point. Let me just say this. Speaking of George Kittle, he does plan to return on Sunday going up against the Falcons. And same with CeeDee Lamb. His plan is to return. He's happy with his ankle, ready to return for the Cowboys. Said he could have maybe gone last week, which is big because you worry a little bit about just getting back up to speed and everything else. You know, CeeDee Lamb's a true pro and he's going to go out there and you're starting him everywhere if you have him. But it was good to hear that he could have maybe gone last week. And then the only other thing that I wanted to hit right here is that Terry McLaurin was a non-participant in yesterday's practice. So you probably will be without Terry McLaurin this week again, which is not good. That stinks.
Yeah, it's not a good sign that he was able to practice Wednesday and then out on Thursday. So you wonder if he didn't respond well. But, if there's any spot you want him back, it's this week
Yes.
against Dallas. So, I mean, obviously, practice today will be key for him. But you hate to see that he was out of practice Thursday.
And Deebo, we still have to keep an eye on. He's got the heel injury, but hopefully he's good to go. But both of those guys are going to have question marks going into the weekend. Let me just say this because I've seen this question again at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. If Terry McLaurin is out, and because we're saying that this is a good game, a good matchup to target, does that raise Luke McCaffrey's floor for you? Do you think that he is someone that could be flex worthy?
Yeah, I think a deep performance. Again, I would like to see him play more snaps, but he's been on the field, he's making plays. So he had the touchdown last week. So yeah, against this defense, absolutely. Because all it takes is one play. He can get
Exactly.
a 40-yard touchdown, and you'll be happy you started him.
We are going to go through the trust meter. Scale of 1 to 10. How much are we trusting some of these guys in our lineups heading into week 7? We're going to continue answering your questions as well here coming up next. All right. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome in. Kendall Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, getting you ready for all things week 7. Hopefully, some of you aren't like Adam and did not have to face Jamar Chase already because at least you can go on about your day with that team, right? You don't even have to worry about it. You just
Yeah, I just
have to
need
look at it.
I just need my team to put up points because points are really critical in that league. So as long
This
as I
wasn't
have a good week,
GST, was
it
it?
was GST. Yeah,
Oh no, was it?
yeah,
Oh, brutal. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
know
not,
things
but
just not going right there with all the injuries and
at least
everything.
you get
But
CeeDee Lamb back.
that is true, but then I lose Ikbuka, Ridley, Puka. So yeah,
Well, Ridley wasn't doing
I
anything
don't,
for you
I don't know.
anyways.
Yeah, but in that league, you can't really
Oh,
find
I know.
anyone.
Go get Flournoy again. Could be fun.
No, with Lamb
Come
back,
on.
he's done.
Tez Johnson? Could be a fun
He,
start.
I didn't get him. Who did I get? Oh, I got Whittington in that league.
Yeah. Tutu Atwell might be back and ready to go.
Him too. I think he might be rostered though.
I need to take a
We'll
look
see.
at that.
But
Anyways.
yeah, I mean, look, just gotta put up points at this point.
Yeah, you're fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be
Yeah,
great. But that's why
it
we
is.
say, how much do you trust your guys? We're going to go through the trust meter here, and you're going to rate these players on the Vanicream trust meter on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 being, I do not trust them at all. 10 being, do not have to worry about it. Go ahead and set them and forget them. Go get a lunch, go get a coffee. Does not matter. Again, Vanicream gives guys no nonsense, fragrance-free care designed for sensitive skin because even guys need a little bit of help here. So the trust meter, Adam, 1 to 10. 10 being, go ahead, set them every single time, just like we say all the time for Rhamondre Stevenson and TreVeyon Henderson. We've talked about this matchup. So I actually do, and you can obviously separate them. So Rhamondre Stevenson, where would you have them? TreVeyon, because this matchup is good for them.
Yeah, it is a good matchup. We're seeing Stevenson, though, play way more 71% of the snaps last week, and he's running more routes and getting the red zone carries. So, Stevenson, I'll go 5 and Henderson
Okay.
at 3. Look, I am starting him in a couple of leagues, but a lot of it is there are no better options. We keep saying this week after week. This is it for Henderson. It is not happening. It doesn't mean it can't. Go back and look at players after 6 weeks last year that finished near the top and look at what they did after the first 6 weeks. Sometimes they were like RB 30. So it
Yeah.
can quickly change. And the path is there in terms of he only really has Stevenson in front of him. But we've got to see some big plays from Henderson. We are not seeing it. He hasn't had a big opportunity, but when he has had the football, we're not seeing these explosive plays. So, yeah, I'm going to say 3 for now. But like I said, I spent a lot of money on him. For some reason, someone dropped him in my home league. I definitely spent a lot, but I'm desperate. I need some help. I
Yeah.
have a lot of injuries, so I'm taking the chance. I'm not going to sit there and hold back on my budget thinking like, oh, well, I'll save it for later. No, there are certain times in the season where you got to make a splash. You got to make a move. If you're near the top and you have a good record, yeah, you can sit back and save some money. But when you're like in the middle of the pack and you have a lot of injuries, you got to make a splash. So this is a good matchup. I would like to see Henderson do something, but to say you can trust him, there's no way you can say that.
No. There's no way. And yeah, if anyone, TreVeyon Henderson being available in one of your leagues was mind blowing to me because we play in those deep formats.
And
So
this is a
I
deep
have,
format too. I
I
can't
have
believe he was
Henderson.
dropped.
I know I have Henderson in GST. I'm joking that I say I'm going to rage drop him, but maybe at some point, Adam, I'll just do
I
that
well
for
don't. I don't have
someone.
enough money left to get him, but someone will spend a lot on him.
Listen, this is the week, and I'm actually, I believe this week. Let me check this lineup. I believe I have enough where I'm benching TreVeyon Henderson. I've had to play him just because that's been my only good option at the time. But this week I had Jalen Warren start last night, and I've got Rico Dowdle. Those are the two that I'm rolling with. So
Yeah, you
it's
have
one
to
of
at
those
this point.
situations where you say, you put them at a 3, and some people might not be in the best spot, and they'll have to look at their, if you have players on a bye, James Cook, if you have Derrick Henry, I understand it. And this matchup, they get a Titans defense that has allowed 21.7 fantasy points per game on planned rush plays since week 3. So you can justify them being flex plays, but you just have to know that it hasn't been good so far. And like you said, we are way higher right now on Rhamondre Stevenson. He could fumble maybe 8 times in a game and still go out there. And it's totally fine. But he had 71% of the snaps last
That was a
week.
season high.
Yeah,
And
it's not
TreVeyon was at
changing.
29%, which was a season low.
Adam, it's not changing. And maybe this, I joked about this, but I said, and because I told Dwayne, maybe TreVeyon's just not good.
I mean,
And
so
and
far he hasn't. He
so far
hasn't
he
been.
hasn't been, and just maybe they don't see something there. I'm
Yeah.
still holding out and hoping for midway through. Well, I can't even say midway through the season. We're really close to that. And it's going to have to be back half of the season that we see something go on. But again, I understand you can't really trust him, but Stevenson might be the one this week where he gets a better matchup, so it changes your mind a little bit. All right, trust meter here. Let's go to Jacory Croskey-Merritt, who I've seen a lot of questions on, and I want to know where your trust level is at with him this weekend.
9.
Okay, that's good.
He's playing the Dallas
I know.
Cowboys. How could you
Exactly.
not trust
Fire
him
him
this
up.
week? If there's any week that you feel great about him. Now, last week was a little disappointing, right?
Mhm.
Because he didn't have a big game, but he got all of the opportunities, or most of them, in the backfield. He's
Yeah.
17 of the 19 running back carries. So even had the fumble and they didn't go away from him, which is always a good sign with a rookie. And there has been some comments that they need him to be a more complete back and he has to work on some things. But it looks like he's taking over this backfield. So this week against Dallas, 4th most rushing yards allowed per game.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a
You like
week that
this
you can
one.
absolutely trust him.
Yeah, this is a good one. If you have him, I know it's been a little bit up and down, maybe more than people expected it to be. But you said it. He had 67% of the snaps last week, which was big, and then 71% of the rushing attempts. I know Chris Rodriguez going into that game too was limited that week in practice, but still, you look at this matchup against the Cowboys. They have given up the second largest fantasy boost to opposing backfields, 8.3 fantasy points. You got a big, the team total, is that still sitting at 28 and a half over there? That's the last one I checked on. That was earlier in the week though.
I haven't
Should
seen it.
still be
But
should still
yeah.
be there, but it's a high team total. That's basically what we're saying here. So I think he's a high end RB2. I honestly think he gives you low end RB1 upside. I can check where we have him, but he's in a good spot in our rankings as well.
Yeah, he's probably very close to the RB1 area.
Yeah, he has to be. Let me check. You want full point PPR? Half.
Full.
Full. Exactly. That's what we do here. He's can I oh it always corrects it to Jacoby. No, Jacory. 16 consensus RB 16.
Yeah, 16. Wow, I thought he would be higher.
I know. Maybe I need to change this a little bit. Hmm. I like it though. All right,
Pretty
let's
much if you have him, you're
if you
playing him.
have him, you're starting him. Do you feel the same? Okay. I want to do a trust level on Xavier Worthy because I do think it changes a little bit. We still trust him, but the workload is going to be different now that Rashee Rice is back. So I want to know what your expectations are for both of them and what the split looks like. And yeah, what's your trust? A scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being good on Xavier Worthy this weekend.
I'll say 7. I still feel
Okay,
good
that's still
about
good.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a good matchup here. The Raiders have allowed the second most receiving yards per game, third most fantasy points to wide receivers. So he's been, since he's come back, the route share is around 70%. The target share you would like to see a little higher, but Rice being back will also, open things up for the rest of the offense too. You have so many players that you need to account for. So yeah, I still think Worthy's a good start.
You worry at all about Rashee Rice getting a little bit of a slow start when he comes back, or you think he's going to be good? Because he wasn't allowed to practice with the team. That's the one thing on the suspensions is that I saw some things going around, but he was able to join the meetings back September 24th. But he has not been able to go out there and be practicing with them. You worry about that at all? It's in the
Not
back of my
really.
mind.
I mean, very little, but again, I'm playing Rice
Yeah,
wherever I have him. The expectations are high for sure. Everyone's very excited. So the thing is, he can kind of only disappoint, right? Because if
perfect.
he doesn't have like 70, 80 yards and a touchdown or two touchdowns or a big game, like people are like, oh, this is what I waited for. Because everyone is looking at Rice as a savior for their fantasy
He's
teams.
supposed to be a league winner. That's why you had him, drafted him, kept him for 6 weeks. Yeah.
So looking at his prop, 62 and a half receiving yards anywhere, and the 65 and a half is the highest on DraftKings. So, and my guess is that's only going to rise. So if you are
Yeah,
in on that, take
probably.
it now because I guarantee you by kickoff Sunday, it's going to be up another 5 to 7 yards because I feel like people are
It
going to be like,
has to
oh,
be.
Rice, I'm going to play him.
Yeah,
I'm not
everyone's
saying I'm
playing
doing
him.
it. I don't think I am yet.
What was his line set at?
62 and a
60.
half is the best on BetMGM,
Okay.
65 and a half on DraftKings.
Yeah, we've got him projected at fantasylife.com for 66 and a half.
Okay, so right in
Five and a
line.
half receptions, 8.1 targets. Good for 15.2 fantasy points.
Yeah, I hope he has a huge game.
We need it. We've been waiting this long. It's just like, please do this for us. All right. Trust meter going over to, you know what? Let me throw Keenan Allen at you. Just out of curiosity, because we've talked this week about how, Lad McConkey has really, you were so excited if you were a Lad McConkey manager this past week because you saw the big game. Quentin Johnston wasn't in that contest, but also, we've talked about how they have so many mouths to feed over there that someone is always going to be squeezed out. And it feels like Keenan Allen, I mean, his utilization score has fallen 85 to 72 over the last, that's 4 games actually. That's not just the last two, it's 4. The role hasn't changed, but again, it's just how many weapons they have. So what's your take on Keenan Allen? What's your trust meter at with him?
I'm going to say 5. You
Okay.
mentioned the utilization is still there, 8.5 targets per game over the last couple weeks, but it hasn't been great production. And, you have Lad McConkey. Quentin Johnston will likely be back, and we're seeing a lot of Aronde Gadsden
Yeah.
involved too. So that's the biggest issue is that there's just so many players that get the football in this offense that we are seeing Keenan slow down a little bit. So I would say 5.
All right. That's not bad. I'll take that. Last one, Cam Skattebo. Say 10. This is a tough
Uh,
matchup, though.
well, yeah, this week it's not
It's
great,
not
but
great.
so you're talking. Oh, so this is trust just for this week?
Trust. Yeah, just this week. Just this week. 1 to 10. That has to be below a 5 for you.
No, it can't be below a 5.
Okay. What are you gonna do?
I'll
6?
say I'll say 7.
All right.
The volume's gonna be there.
It is. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I actually benched him this week, but
Really?
I have good options.
For
I have
who?
really good options. Here, hang on.
Okay. Well,
Let me look.
what is this? One of your ESPN leagues?
Yes, it is, Adam.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
don't knock the ESPN leagues until you try them because
Sorry.
it's fun to have to.
It's
I
fun to
have
bully people.
no, it's not. No, stop. I have Ashton Jeanty and I have Rachaad White. And I
Okay.
have ETN and Henderson. Henderson's just there.
Well,
Henderson
Henderson's the
hasn't been
easy
started.
out.
Henderson hasn't been started that whole time.
You're playing ETN over Skattebo?
No, Rachaad White.
Okay.
Rachaad White,
It's
Ashton Jeanty,
Detroit. Yeah, he's gonna have to catch a lot of passes. White.
which I think I think they're going to have to do that.
And a good bet to score a touchdown. It's
Yeah.
tough to
It's
bench
close.
Skattebo at this
I will
point,
say
though.
it's close. I'm not.
Wow, no allegiance to your guy
Oh, would you
Skattebo. Like,
yeah, as he's
first tough
on all my
matchup, and you throw him
rosters.
on the bench.
Listen,
Unbelievable.
it's one of the, when you have an embarrassment of riches at running back. You know how many teams I don't have this for, Adam? It's
Oh,
just fun to be able to mix and match my running backs every single week in
I
this
think I
only
might have
one
only
league.
one team with like depth at running back. I'd say
And who are
one.
they?
Uh,
'Cause I
Jonathan
don't. This one.
Taylor, ETN, Mason,
Jonathan Taylor's huge,
someone
though.
else. But yeah, it's like my best team. So the Broncos, 7th fewest fantasy points to running backs. They did allow Jonathan Taylor to go for 165, but he's elite. Hampton had 70. Chase Brown had 10 for. See, this is misleading because Barkley only had 6 carries for 30 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't even. The Broncos do give up production through the air against running backs. That's where Skattebo is going to have to get it done. So
Yeah.
but yet for some reason Brees Hall had no targets last week.
I don't. It was. I don't know what.
We'll
what's
just
going
throw
on
that
over
away
there.
to the dysfunctional Jets offense. So
I will
yeah,
say it's close.
Skattebo is though like to this point. I think you're playing him, but like you
for
said,
sure.
if you have a lot of options, then yeah.
I have Rachaad White at 12. Let me tell you how close this is. I do have Rachaad White at 12 going up against Detroit, and then Cam I have at 15, RB 15,
Okay.
15 and 12. So it is very close.
Yeah, White is tough to bench right now with no Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
He's just getting everything. Now, Detroit is very good against the run, but this is probably a situation where Rachaad White gets it done through the air.
I hope so. Or else you're going to give me a ton of crap on Monday. So I can't really take that. You're going to be like, wow, look at Skattebo. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. I'll think about it. We're going to go through some of the biggest fantasy questions for week 7. Continue answering your questions over there on X. I see a lot of them coming in. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us this morning. At Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis. Brian Thomas Jr., is he officially back? What are we looking at with Kenneth Walker? We have to talk about it. We're breaking it down next. All right, welcome back. We're going through the biggest week 7 fantasy questions. And if you have any questions on your lineups or anything heading into this weekend, make sure you send it in at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. We'll also open up the phone lines here in a little bit when we get into the Fantasy Life water cooler. And remember, you can get a free Fantasy Life Plus subscription. That is 100% free for the year. So projections, tools, everything that we talk about, just go to fantasylife.com/comet. COMET. Follow that step-by-step guide. It takes about 2 minutes. Super easy to download that. It's an AI-powered browser, so you download that browser and then you get Fantasy Life Plus for free for 1 year. So make sure you go over there, fantasylife.com/comet. Here's one question, Adam, and this might be close. Jacory Croskey-Merritt, this is from The Nation. Jacory Croskey-Merritt or Jeanty this week? Ooh.
I'm going to go
Jeanty higher, so I'm going to say Jeanty.
I'm going to go Croskey-Merritt.
Ooh,
matchup.
Man, maybe I need to move him, huh? Where would you have him then? So, Rachaad White or Jacory Croskey-Merritt?
I think I'm gonna have
Does
to
that work?
go Croskey-Merritt.
Okay. Do you draw the line at Quinshon Judkins or Jacory?
I would go Judkins.
Okay. All right. That's where I have it stopped too. Okay.
I mean, Judkins might get 30 carries this week. I mean,
Yeah, should.
the forecast has changed, but did you just see that there's going to be some like real heavy
Yeah,
winds?
I
But
saw I
now I
saw a
think the
photo.
latest I saw was 40-mile-per-hour gust, like 25 to 30. So, I mean, it's Miami anyway, and their run defense. You want to feed Judkins anyway.
Yeah, wow. I did see reports for that game and that weather is supposed to be bad. So,
Yeah, look, with the weather stuff, like, I don't care what it says on Thursday. These guys can't even get it right 10 hours before. So let's just wait till Sunday morning. You know how many times
fair
I
enough.
see, oh, yeah, it's going to rain today at 6 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock it's sunny. And then there'll be like no rain, and then all of a sudden it's raining. It's like, what? So it's
They're just
crazy.
doing it to
I
make you
mean,
mad.
see, fantasy analysts, we get criticized when we're wrong, right? Like, it's
Mhm.
out there.
So
Weather people, they
so now
don't.
you're telling people to go after your local weather
Yes, get
forecasters?
them. No.
Stop. Get out of here. So bad. Adam's saying we get heat all the time.
We do
Go
though.
for the
Like if you
go
make
for
like
the
some
other people.
prediction on the radio
You're
or an
so
article or
funny.
something and you're wrong and we're going to be wrong, like you get so much criticism for it.
I mean, we own up to it at least. So there's
Oh,
that.
you have
You're
to.
like keep that same energy for the weather. The weather. You're so funny. I can't even handle you right now. All right. Well, let's get into some of the bigger questions. So you would go so you would go Bill there for
Yes.
the nation. Okay. All right. I need to relook at my rankings and see where we're at. Brian Thomas Jr. I think that's another big question that we haven't necessarily dove into yet this week, but what are your expectations here? Is this finally one of the things where we see a little bit of a bump? We expected this with Liam Cohen's arrival, and it just for the first few weeks of the season, it's not even. I can't even say it's been all right. It's been downright bad for where you took Brian Thomas, and I will say, I believe that it's going to be really hard for him to pay off his ADP at this point. He'd have to really run pure the rest of the season, but he had 23 fantasy points last week, an 88 utilization score, all season best marks, and that's exactly what you wanted to see. I upgraded him to wide receiver 2 territory, more on the low end at fantasylife.com. But I mean, Dwayne really liked him in the utilization report as well. He was looking at, some of his comps and where they reached, and it was all right. But do you think we've finally seen a turn with BTJ and Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I do. It does look better. And let's not forget, it should have been a bigger day last week. Travis Hunter lined up offside
Yeah.
that nullified another touchdown. So Thomas could have had well over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 catches. Even with that taken away, still 8 for 90 and a touchdown, 10 targets, second highest on the season. So you like to see that. And I think part of it is adjusting to this new offense. It's going to take some time. And yes, Trevor Lawrence has been off at times. Thomas has had some bad drops. So it's been a combination of the two, each making mistakes that have led to these low stats. But I do feel better about them going forward. You're starting to see a little bit of a synergy between them. And yeah, 16 targets the last 2 games, at least 80 receiving yards. So, like you said, he's not going to return the value where you drafted him. You just don't want him to sink your team like he was doing
Yeah.
the first few weeks. So, even if he finishes as somewhere in the wide receiver 2 range, it's not ideal. It's not what you paid for, but you will take that considering the start to the season.
We got Brian Thomas Jr. projected for 8 targets, 4.5 receptions, 62 receiving yards, and then 13.2 fantasy points. The Xfinity best score, though, could be 28.8. That's the ceiling of what we think he could max out at for his fantasy points in week 7. Things you absolutely love to see. And just listen, if you were able to get through the first few weeks with him, though, and I mean, you at least weathered the storm, hopefully at this point, you'd rather be losing it early, in my opinion, than trying to get through it late if you have a good team and you're starting to lose down the stretch there. So we'll hope that everything has turned around. Want to keep talking about Kenneth Walker and our expectations for him and go through our survivor picks. No, Adam did not pick the Cincinnati Bengals last night, but he could have, and he would have
I
won.
didn't take the Steelers.
Well, we're going to go through more Survivor Week 7 picks, guys. The teams that we like here going into the weekend. We're going to do that coming up next. Oh, it sure is. Happy Friday, everyone. You've made it. We are here breaking down Survivor picks for Week 7, answering your questions as well at Valenzuela 17, at Adam Ronis. over there on X. I see one here from Robert. I have 3 quarterbacks: Prescott, Williams, or Danny Dimes. Which one do I drop so I can pick up Trey Tucker?
So it
Hmm.
was Prescott,
Prescott,
Caleb, and
Caleb,
Danny.
and Daniel Jones.
I think
I
it's
mean, Daniel
Jones
Jones
or
is
trade
my
him.
yeah. I think you could trade him. I don't know if you need to drop him. Someone might be
Look,
desperate enough.
yeah, quarterbacks I always say are difficult to trade, but there could be a team that's in a tough spot that maybe they had Kyler Murray and then they picked up
Yeah,
Mac Jones, or maybe they drafted Lawrence or McCarr. I don't know. There's got to be. I'm guessing no if he's asking this question, but just in case, explore a trade for Daniel Jones,
hmm,
whatever you can get. If not, then Jones would be the cut.
definitely. Oh man, I thought he was going to ask start sit, but I've got Prescott just in case anyone's wondering. Prescott the highest out of those 3 too,
Yeah,
and then Caleb Williams, and then Daniel Jones for week 7.
yeah.
One.
Dak
Go
getting
ahead.
CeeDee Lamb back. Let's
I
go.
know,
I
I
mean,
know.
they've been a
He's
top
my
offense without him.
Oh, for sure. I think he's my QB. Let me look. I think he's my QB 4 this week.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
highest
he
totals
is.
of the week.
Yep. You have to go for that. I see a running back question here too, talking about Cam Skattebo. So it's Cam Skattebo or Swift, 1 point PPR in the flex. This is from Fanny Pack Mafia. This is the one where I tell you whenever we talk, what if you got a fanny pack?
No, not going to
Come
happen.
on, what? All
Scatterboo.
right, fine. Yeah, I got Skattebo ranked higher. RB, yeah, RB 15. Swift could be good this week, though. You're happy
That
with what you've seen
the last week
the last week.
was great, but we have not seen that consistently. So he took advantage of that matchup. He was on the injury report with a groin issue, but that's been something he's been on frequently this year.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, look, he's not a bad play, but I'm playing Scat over him.
Skattebo, I love that. Thank you for sending in those messages. We're going to continue looking through them. Survivor picks, since we didn't pick the Bengals, but we should have. That would have been a fun one.
So
I
why didn't you
think
do it? You had an entry alive, so
I
you
already,
talk all that
no, no,
trash. Why
no.
didn't you take them?
I had already taken them.
No, you
No, I
haven't.
didn't. I could never tell you a lie. Where are we? So Kansas City, right?
They're the
That's
easy
the
one,
that's the
yeah.
easy one. If you want an easy play, it's going to be Kansas City over Las Vegas. That's going to be the probably the best play here. I've seen. What do you think about Chicago in that game
I
over
don't
New
trust them.
Orleans? You don't
I
like
do
it?
not trust
New
them.
Orleans has been
They've been
scrappy.
feisty.
They've been
Yeah.
scrappy in these games. So I would steer clear of that one as well, but I do think that's interesting. Is this ever the time to take the Panthers going up against the Jets?
I can't
Is
do
there
it.
ever
I understand if
is there
people
ever
want
a
to.
time?
I just can't, because we've seen this too many times. So it's easy to say, "Oh, the Jets were horrible. Everyone watched them on national TV. Fields was awful. Garrett Wilson is out." But I just think they're going to play well in this game. So I can't do it. I would say for me, it's Kansas City, and who else did I take? I know I took
Yeah, you
New England.
I took New England as well. I really like that one. I don't mind the Rams this week either. I know that it might be a little bit weird because it's the international game and you're without Puka Nacua, but I do like the Rams, but that is not as chalky as taking the other two. We've
I
got
think
good
some
games this
people will
week.
be on the Broncos too, but
Yeah, I don't know. The Giants have showed us that it's not going to be easy taking them down.
yeah, they are 0-3 on the road, and the defense
That's
for
a
Denver is very good. But
Well, playing in Denver is a tough place to play
Denver's
too.
coming back from a London trip
Yeah,
with
that's
no
true. Oh
week
yeah, they
off.
didn't have their. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. It'll be a good game. I'm excited for this Chargers Colts game too. I'm not picking anyone, but that one should, stay close and hopefully be a good game
Yeah,
because I'll
that
be
looks to
there.
be. Yeah, that's there's only 3 4 o'clock games this week, right? No, 4. Oh
Four.
yeah, no. So I was gonna say that's
One,
the
two,
best
three,
game, but the
four.
Commanders Cowboys will probably be the
Yeah,
one everyone's watching at 4.
that's
The
gonna be
Chargers Colts, a
gonna
good
be a great
game.
game.
It's a good game.
Definitely. All right, we are going to continue on. You know what time it is. It's time for that Fantasy Life water cooler. So make sure you're calling in here if you get the chance. 888-963-2682, or press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app at Valenzuela 17. Over there on X at Adam Ronis is where you want to go. We've got a lot of questions, Adam. I've got a lot of questions. Are you starting Kenneth Walker anywhere this
Hell
week?
no.
I
I don't
am.
have him
I
in
don't.
redraft
I
though.
don't have.
I
Oh, my
wanted
Zach
him.
Charbonnet shares are screaming. All right, call us in with questions. Anything you have for fantasy this weekend. We're heading over to the water cooler coming up next. Oh, it is about that time. Time for the Fantasy Life Water Cooler, where we go through all the pieces of news that you might have missed and get you ready for week 7. You're going to be up to date on all the injuries, everything that you need to know when setting your lineups. And you'll also be very up to date and just dominate when you go to fantasylife.com. So make sure you head over there. All of our projections are updated, our rankings, everything you need to set those lineups. And just a reminder, fantasylife.com/comet, COMET. That's where you want to go. You download the AI powered browser. It acts as your personal assistant, as your thinking partner. And when you download that, you get Fantasy Life Plus for free. So again, that is for a year. So utilization report, every single tool that we have will be free for you for 1 year. If you go to fantasylife.com/comet, COMET, takes about 2 minutes. There's a step-by-step guide for you to download the browser, and then you're going to have full access again to all the rankings, all the tools, everything you need. So want to point you in that direction. And while you're at fantasylife.com, make sure you go and subscribe to that newsletter in your inbox 7 days a week, 100% free. We've got the phone lines open, Adam. We got 888-963-2682, or you can press that new calling button on the Sirius XM app. We're checking X, we're checking Twitter over there at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis. We're ready to go. You ready? You
Ready?
good? You
I'm
good?
good.
Hey, by the way, are you going to a Cowboys game this year or no?
Yes.
Which one? Oh, the last one,
Last
huh?
week of the
Week
season when
7 or
Dallas
week
comes
18.
to Jersey to
There
face the
we
Giants.
go. There we go.
I
Oh,
tend to
you get to
go
see.
to that game every year, but I definitely need to get out to Dallas and check out that
You
stadium because
do.
I have yet to do that.
Yeah, you need to go do that. And you usually, well, last year you went to that game. It was a Thursday night game,
Yeah,
which
I've
is
gotten
nice for
lucky
you.
the last 2 years. One was a
Yeah.
Thursday night and one was a Sunday night. I still don't love it because, you're missing a lot of the 4 o'clock game traveling on the way there.
Yeah.
Thursday night is perfect because nothing else is going on. Monday night is good, although as long as there's no doubleheader. But yeah, this year it is the final week of the season
There we
where
go.
I don't. Do you think that game's going to mean anything?
Nope,
Probably
sure
not for either
don't. Just
team.
good vibes though. You get to watch, the dynamic duo of Skattebo and Jackson Dart.
And let me tell you, those games, there are so many Cowboys fans, it feels like a
I
home game.
bet.
I will say this, even for the Jets game, I went to go get some food before that game, and there were people in there with Cowboys jerseys on.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of
they
Cowboys
travel.
fans
They
in the area,
travel
and they
for
travel
sure.
too, yeah.
Yeah. That'll be fun. But no, I don't think it'll be worth anything. But good vibes and good times. That's all that matters over there. And that's what you're gonna get. So I like that one. Let's get into some of these pieces of news. Again, we talked about these two off the top of the show, but wanted to just confirm with everyone and let everyone know it is going to be George Kittle. He said he is going to return Sunday going up against the Atlanta Falcons. The quote was, "I fully plan to play on Sunday as long as Shanahan lets me. It's up to him, but hopefully I'm out there. I think I will be." We also think he will be. CeeDee Lamb is happy with his ankle injury or happy with the rehab, and he said he's ready to go. The good part there, Adam, was that he mentioned that he could have maybe gone last week. So you're hoping that he really just hits the ground running. And then the one that we've been watching a little bit more closely this week has been Terry McLaurin. So he was downgraded to a non-participant in yesterday's practice. It'll be key to see what he looks like here today in today's practice. But the two that we're really excited about, CeeDee Lamb's back, and thank goodness George Kittle is back too. We like that.
Yeah, I've been waiting for both of these players, and the fact that Lamb said he could have been back last week but took the cautious approach. I mean, we don't like it for our fantasy teams, but the
No.
bottom line is we want these guys to come back and be healthy. We cannot have any aggravations or further injuries. So let's hope that is the case. Wow, and I'm seeing from Pelissero, Tom Pelissero just came out, real uncertainty whether McLaurin, Deebo can
Oh.
play this week.
Wow,
Wow,
both of them, because
imagine
we've been.
that.
I can't imagine that. Producer Ronnie is just like
I mean, as a
crying right
Cowboys fan
now.
and as someone who doesn't have either in
Well,
fantasy, I'm
okay.
good. Sit
All
out.
right.
I've had enough bad luck and injuries come my way. Can I catch a
But
break for once?
I mean, that makes so it's been a heel injury for Deebo, and it's
Yeah.
been one that's been it's been a lingering
He
heel
has not been
injury.
practicing much the
No,
last
he
couple
he has
weeks.
not. So we always say this, and you guys know this by now. But if you have either Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, have a backup plan just in case. But I mean, I mentioned at the top of the show. So I think the biggest beneficiary then is going to be Jacory Croskey-Merritt's already getting good work. He's probably going to be a lot more involved. Zach Ertz is someone that's going to rise up the ranks, and then you have to look at Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane as two guys that also are maybe going into flex territory. Noah Brown was placed on IR, so you can't even go to him. He's going to be out for a while. So, but Zach Ertz probably one of the biggest beneficiaries, right? And then Jacory Croskey-Merritt as well.
Yeah, look, they're playing the Cowboys defense, which has
You
been
play
brutal.
everyone.
So, yeah, anyone who has a pulse and is on that field has a chance to do something. But yeah, I do think McCaffrey becomes interesting. The only concern I had with him is like the snap counts haven't been there. But if both these
Well,
guys are going
now
to
they
be
will
out, they're
be.
going to need him. And, he can, again, he can get a 40, 50-yard touchdown. I played him last week out of desperation. Well, when Kincaid was ruled out, I had him as the other option on Monday night, played him, and he came through. So, yeah, but Deebo Samuel, he was able to have two good games, and then last week he didn't. So this clearly is bothering him. He didn't look right to me, and he's missed a lot of practice. So
Yep.
I guess they tried, the rest, and hopefully he would be fine. But it's looking like there's a question mark. Again, has not been ruled out. Game is
No.
Sunday, but this report indicates that there's uncertainty for both McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. I mean, McLaurin, I think you
I think
probably
McLaurin's
feel is not
out.
going to play. Yeah.
Yeah, it just, I mean, the last two that I saw, that Terry McLaurin, the one, from Pelissero saying it's really uncertain that he's going to play. That's been that quad injury. So we'll wait and see. I think it makes interesting start sit decisions at the tight end position, though. If you've been streaming and you have Ertz, it hasn't been amazing this year. Let's just say that. I think he's the tight end 16 in fantasy points per game. He's got two tight end one finishes this season. But when you look at Dallas, we always pick on them. They've allowed the 12th most receiving yards per game to tight ends. So that's one where you maybe look at him and say, I'll have to adjust my rankings, and both of them are out.
Is it
So
me or does it
interesting.
feel like there's like a lot of good options at tight end this week,
Yeah,
right?
but you know what that means, though.
Yeah.
None of they won't. Nothing good will happen.
Well,
There are good tight end options
because
though this
again,
week.
assuming Njoku's out, Fannin steps in
Yeah,
to a big role.
Kate Otten.
Mason Taylor with no Garrett Wilson, Cade Otton with
Hmm.
their injuries. You mentioned Ertz, Michael Mayer with no Brock Bowers. So yeah, I mean, and several of those guys were available on waivers this week. And
Yeah,
even
you have good
digging
options.
a little deeper, I don't know if you would start him, but Rhamondre Gadsden has obviously seen more volume.
Yeah, if anything, just hold on to a Rondé
Yeah.
Gadsden. We talked about him a couple weeks ago, but yeah, Michael Mayer's a good one. You've got good options this week, so hopefully you can go to the waiver wire, pick someone up if you've been streaming. But again, we'll keep an eye on Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, because that is not a good update to have going into Friday practices. All right, continuing on here, making sure we get through everything in this water cooler. And again, you guys can make sure to call in. The phone number sitting there, 888-963-2682, or you can press that call-in button on the Sirius XM app. All right, let's go over. So Treylon Burks, let me just say this. Treylon Burks was added to the Commanders practice squad. I don't think that means anything yet, but that was kind of interesting to see that signing. Mac Jones,
Who?
most likely. Nope, you're not going to get me. You never have.
I did. Aaron Jones. I
No, you
got
didn't. You didn't.
it was during
It
break,
didn't
but I
count.
got you.
It
It
didn't
doesn't
count. No
matter.
one heard it. No,
Oh,
it didn't
I'll make
count.
sure they hear it. I'm
No.
gonna send that audio over to Ani. He's gonna remix it with the Mac with
Perfect.
the
Great. It was so
Mike
funny too
Jones
because I was
song. It's gonna be
only
great.
thinking about Mac Jones, and then you said who, and I said, "Oh yeah, Aaron Jones," and I was like, "No, can't believe you got me on that one." But Mac Jones most likely will start this week after a full practice. That was the quote that we saw from Shanahan. He said, "Quote: It means most likely he will. We'll see how Brock does tomorrow. That is today. But Mac's much better than he was last week. Brock is doing better than he did last week as well. But." This is one where they're just taking their time with Brock Purdy. I did not expect Adam when we first heard about his turf toe injury. Obviously not as bad as one, Joe Burrow, but this has sidelined him for a lot longer than I expected. So Mac Jones going in, expectations here for this team. It looks like they're going to be without Ricky Pearsall. Jawan Jennings has the ankle, rib, shoulder injuries. So I have Juwan Jennings on one team, and it is one of those 20-round draft teams, and I don't think I can start him because why would I put him out there if he's telling me he's that injured? Last week he got 1.5 fantasy points. We talk about the trust meter. How could I trust him?
Yeah, the other factor you have to take into account is how good this Atlanta defense has been. They have yet to allow a quarterback to pass for 200 yards this year. Now, they have faced J.J. McCarthy, Bryce Young, Marcus Mariota, but they held Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen
Hmm.
under 200. Mayfield at 167, Josh Allen, as we saw last week, only 180. So this is not like the best streaming spot for Mac Jones. Probably Kendrick Bourne, though, you could probably roll with, right? Because that's the guy
I
that
would think
he's
so.
been
I mean,
targeting.
they have such a good connection. Again, we can't expect what he did like every single week, but as long as Ricky Pearsall at least is out and Jawan Jennings so
Is
banged up,
banged
they have
up,
to go
yeah. I mean,
somewhere.
Kittle will be back, so that will help him a little bit. Like Kittle, I don't care what the matchup is, he's playing. I just hope that he really is. He said he completely tore the hamstring. There's no way, right?
Yeah,
Like, how's that
he
possible?
did say that. He said he felt it, hang on, I have the quote right here. He said he felt it pop and was like, "Oh, I need to go. Here it is, quote, I just felt like a rubber band snapped in my hamstring and I said I've got to go to the locker room after that one." That's bad.
Okay. So they're saying Deebo Samuel is working off to the side at practice, and McLaurin is warming up off to the side. Doesn't have his helmet, but he's in a jersey and shorts. So I
What
guess
does
we'll
that
see
mean?
when the official practice reports come out later.
All right. Well, they always keep us guessing.
Yeah, I know.
We'll say that. Yeah, and Kittle's back, so you're happy with that as well. One more here. Did you see Alvin Kamara's quote if he gets traded? He said,
Yeah.
so we've talked about how Alvin Kamara has told everyone in the organization and just out loud that he does not want to be traded. He wants to retire in as a New Orleans Saint, and that is great to know. But there was a quote yesterday that said, if he gets traded, that he was just quote, "I'm gonna go drink a pina colada somewhere." If they come downstairs and say that he's traded. Same with me, Adam. If you tell me you're not showing up for work one day, I'm just gonna say, you know what?
Yeah,
I've
right.
got to
You
go
would
drink pina
panic.
colada. Got to go drink pina coladas.
I get
I'm
those,
out.
like, it's happened like once or twice, like a
Oh,
minute, two
last
minutes
year when you
before the
showed
show.
up 2 minutes before, you have our producers scared. We're like, "Where's Adam?"
Don't worry, I'm here.
Uh huh. Well, whenever you're not, I'll say peace out. I gotta go drink a pina colada.
No,
Where do
you
you have?
would.
Hey, where do you have Kamara ranked this week?
Uh,
Is this a good like? I think he is a riser this week.
why?
I don't know.
Oh, because of the matchup?
Yeah, because of the matchup, really. Let me see.
It's just
Yeah, he is a little bit of a riser for me. I'm gonna be honest.
so, it's just he did catch more passes last week. That was
He
the
did.
biggest concern so far this year is he just has not been involved in the passing game as much as I would like to see. We know the touchdowns are going to be difficult to come by. He's right around like very low RB2.
He has 5 or more targets though in 3 straight games, so that's nice. I mean, we're lowering the bar here, but that's
And
why
then
I've
you
seen
and
him
now
rise a little bit,
you
and he
worry
gets a
about
good matchup against the Bears.
touchdowns being stolen too because of Taysom Hill now coming in.
Yeah,
That's the other issue. But look at this rushing yardage. 42 rushing yards or fewer in 3 of the
it's
last
bad.
4.
I know.
Well, yeah, the receptions they're going
They're
back
coming
up.
back a little
Four,
bit.
4, 5.
Who would have
Not
thought we
much
would have been
yardage.
excited about 4 receptions from Alvin Kamara, but here we are. And the Bears too. I mean, the Bears have allowed the 7th most rushing yards, third most explosive runs to running backs this season. So that's also why he's a bit of a riser for me.
Still one touchdown on the
I
season.
know.
Yeah, it's tough. You're not happy if you drafted Kamara. I can tell you that. I avoided him this year. I was just worried about this offense and, you know, again, if he's not scoring touchdowns, he needs heavy volume and we're not seeing
Yeah.
it, especially in a passing game. Like you said though, it is the targets have been getting better, for sure, but it's still not great. I mean, Kendre Miller is playing about 39% of the snaps. Kamara was at 63% last week, 56% the week before, where he was in the 70s. So they've scaled back his snaps.
They definitely have. He's my RB 23 this week, which is a riser in my rankings. So at least you have that to lean on here. Rapid fire, and then we'll get out to the phone lines. Looks like Tutu Atwell did practice in full yesterday. I'll be really interested to see if he's good to go this weekend. Again, there's real concern that Terry McLaurin could miss another game this week, but we're just going to have to pay attention today, especially to those practice reports. Mike Evans was limited yesterday, hoping to get a full practice in today. Ricky Pearsall did not practice yesterday. So those are the big ones that we're watching for. CeeDee Lamb, good to go. Looks like George Kittle will be taken off IR, good to go this week as well. Let's get out to the phone lines now, though. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us on this Friday. Let's go out to Jean in New Jersey. You guys can get lunch. What do you got,
Yeah,
Jean?
let's go.
Let's go.
Hey guys, how you doing? I got two flex spots. First one is a half PPR. It's either Waddle, and I know the weather's going to be bad, or Jacoby Myers. And the other one is a full PPR in the flex spot, Jeanty or Mason. Thanks.
Waddle for me in the first one.
Yeah, again, the weather, we're still days away. He could catch a lot of short passes too. Really, if it's heavy winds, it affects the deep passing. But I think we're still going Waddle as of right
Yeah,
now.
I would still go Waddle.
Yeah.
And then what was
Jeanty or
Jeanty or
Mason.
Mason? It's Jeanty for me.
Yeah, I'm going Jeanty too. I know
And it's not
Chiefs.
really close, actually.
I think people are worried about the Chiefs matchup and the
No, I
double-digit
get it.
spread, but he can catch passes, and at least early in the game, he'll get carries and he could break off a long run.
I might need to move Jordan Mason up a little bit. I think I have him too. I have him at RB 20. That doesn't feel right,
That's
though.
no, why? What's wrong with that? I
I
think
don't know. I
that's
think
right.
he needs to be closer to 16, don't you?
Why?
17? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
there's other running backs that
I do
are
know. It's
in better
because
spots.
I know, but I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check on that. I write these notes while we're doing this, but yeah, Waddle in this one, Jeanty in this one as well. Jordan Mason, yeah, I might look at him like,
And it's official as we expected. Puka Nacua has been ruled out.
yeah, we knew that
And
one was.
Aaron Glenn said Garrett Wilson is doubtful. So remember we talked
Well,
about how there was a report that he was out. Just say he's out,
they
because
said he had
doubtful
a
you never
chance.
play.
They said he had
Yeah.
a chance. That was. It's always.
So that's why
annoying
we're
because
waiting on our service provider to put him as out, but we can't because
That's
Aaron
the
Glenn
worst
said he's
part.
doubtful. I
That's the
know.
worst part when you have these guys and you're waiting for the coaches to actually rule them out so you can put them in that spot, go get someone else. It always bugs me. Always bugs me. All right, we're going to continue on. I will move Jordan Mason, I think, during the break. While I'm doing that, though, we're going to get ready and go for go hard or go home. We're going to see which players are going to go hard for us in week 7, which ones are going to go home. We're going to do that here coming up next. It is time for Go Hard or Go Home, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade, the official drink of those who go hard for their league. We're breaking down players this week that we think are going to go hard for you, or ones that might be going home, Adam. And you just have to live with it because that's just what happens every single time we do this. So go hard or go home, and then we'll answer. I see more questions coming in over on X, so we'll make sure to continue getting to those. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. I'm going to throw you a random one because we haven't mentioned Dalton Schultz a lot this year. Do you think Dalton Schultz could be someone that could go hard for your league this week, or no? Go hard or go home?
Well, he's playing Seattle, and I will say this: I hope that Toronto goes home down 3-2. So
There we go.
There we go.
Hey,
Good vibes.
Thank you. Thank you.
With Schultz, I'm gonna say go home. I know the matchup is pretty good, that Seattle is struggling against tight ends, but we mentioned the tight end options this week that are pretty good. And I don't want to count on Schultz. I think there's so many other tight ends I feel better starting. And Schultz has, 39 yards receiving or fewer in 4 or 5 games. I know he's coming off one of his better games against Baltimore. He was 6 for 60, but has no touchdowns. I just feel like the floor is low. So yeah, the matchup's good, but I'm going to say go home.
Yeah, I think go home too. I wanted to write this one in because I did notice, looking through this game for the Seahawks, that they've been good overall, but they're weak against tight ends. They've allowed 3 different tight ends to have weekly top 12 finishes, which is pretty big. But again, you said it. You don't usually have weeks. And of course, we say this now where there's so many options of tight ends, and we'll check
It started
back on,
last night.
we'll
Steelers
check back on
three touch.
Overreaction Monday.
We had
We'll
4
say,
different
"Whoops,
touchdowns from
what, you
tight
think
ends last
they're a
night.
week early to National Tight Ends Day, but I mean, you really do. You could have Harold Fannin picked up off waivers in depending on your league size. You could have Kate Otten going into this week. Even
Mayer,
I like Hunter Henry this week too. Zach
Michael
Ertz,
Mayer.
Michael Mayer, Mason Taylor. Like those are all really good options. Of some of them, a handful of those guys too, you could have picked up. So, yeah, I think you know what, Mayer is actually the one that I have ranked below all these guys. He's my tight end 15 this week. I like Taylor a little bit more, even though that's scary. I like Kate Otten more than him this week. Yeah,
I think Mayer's in play though. If
he
you
is.
missed
Well,
out
he
on the other
definitely
guys,
is
yeah.
for sure. Gosh, Justin Fields can't be as bad as last week, right? Can't
I
get
don't think
worse.
so, but
It
no
can't get
Garrett
worse?
Wilson is
Question mark?
certainly interesting. But it has to,
Yeah.
yeah, Mason Taylor. Look, again, the one thing Carolina does not get pressure on the quarterback. Denver gets a lot, and
Mhm.
that was the problem last week. Fields holds on to the ball too long. We know that, but even if he holds it long this week, he still might have time to find someone open.
Let's go hard or go home here again, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Let's do Lad McConkey. Go hard or go home this week. Do we have an update on Quentin Johnston, by the way?
Yeah, I
I
think he was
haven't.
practicing.
He was back
Yeah, it
yesterday.
sounds like he's going to go.
Okay. Well, so that's good for Quentin Johnston managers, but not necessarily great for Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen, because we talked about the mouths to feed. Go hard or go home against this Colts team at home this week.
Go hard for McConkey. I
Okay.
mean, again, we've seen some good signs. And yes, Quentin Johnston was out last week when McConkey had his best game. But I think he's been getting open all season long. It's just that, Herbert at times has gone to other players, but we've seen Allen tail off a little bit. So, yeah, I think McConkey will be fine. So I'm going to say go hard.
Yeah, I think go hard too. I think the Colts have allowed the fourth most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. So you're really in a good spot there if you have him or any of the other. You think Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston also in play for you? Not to go
Uh,
hard, just in general.
like Johnston better.
Okay. Crazy how things change here
I
with how
know.
we talked about Keenan Allen for the first couple weeks of the season. Josh Downs, was he practicing?
No,
I should be
concussion.
looking at this. Yeah.
Concussion.
He's in line to not play,
Check
right?
our injury report on
I
fantasylife.com from
will.
me and Jorge Martin.
Oh, there we go. That is it. It is a really, really good article to make sure you can just keep checking back on. So we should expect that he's not playing. If he's this late in the concussion protocol?
Yeah, my guess
Okay.
is he doesn't play, which is unfortunate because
Does that
every
mean
time it looks like he's starting to get going, something happens.
does that mean AD Mitchell's out of the doghouse
I
or
don't know. That's the big question here after what he did a couple weeks ago and then barely played the following week and didn't do much last week. So,
Hmm. Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe this is the week that they just have to. But we watch out for him. I didn't mention him in the water cooler, so definitely wanted to do that. Go hard or go home, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Devontae Smith. Can you say nice things about Devontae Smith for me, or is that just not the week to do it? Because I'm starting him everywhere.
Everywhere?
I only have everywhere being GST and one
Oh,
other
well,
league.
yeah, that
It's
league
too
you don't.
many though. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
I don't have any Smith this year. I have a couple of AJ Brown, but yeah, I don't think you can say anytime with these Philly receivers go hard,
And
right?
the Vikings. I mean,
Yeah, Vikings are tough. We know that they blitz a lot too, and they've been really good against wide receivers. They've limited slot receivers too. I look, I can't say go hard with
yeah.
Smith. I'm not going to say go home because I think in a lot of instances you're probably just going to suck it up and start him and hope it's decent. But I don't think we could ever say go hard with the Eagles receivers this year until we see
No.
something change.
But it's difficult. You said it. It's difficult to sit them because where you drafted these guys, you might not have better options. So that's just the toughest part. And this is going to be a tough matchup. They've given up the Vikings, I should say, have given up the fewest yards to outside receivers or middle of the pack when they're going up against slot receivers. So between Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, it just feels like it's going to be one of those seasons, Adam. This might be the last time I draft these guys. It's been 3 years in a row. It's not been the same every single year, but it's been tough.
Yeah, I'm
It's not been
interested
what
to
you expected.
see the response of the Eagles this week because it feels like it's spiraling downward like we saw 2 years ago. They've had the mini bye week after playing on a Thursday night. This is a tough matchup. they need to get Barkley going too. I had put this out
No
yesterday
kidding.
on X. Barkley has no games with 100 yards from scrimmage this year. He had
What?
13 out of 16 last year. He has 0 this year.
I'm worried about the whole thing. I really am. Except for Dallas Goedert.
I
he's
know.
he's
I
the
mean,
he's the best play in this offense, which is so gross.
5 touchdowns in 5
Yep.
games. And all of a sudden, he's become a big component of the. We've never seen this from
No.
Goddard with Brown and Smith healthy. He's got a
No.
21.3% target share. Like,
He matched his career high with five
yeah,
touchdowns now. It's October 17th.
they're
And he
drawing
matched
some
that.
plays up near the goal line, that little shovel pass. So,
He has to
yeah,
be going for regression though, right? I mean, there's no
I
well, I said that. I ranked him inside the top 10 last week and he still did it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
surprised that this is continuing, but it's also not helping the offense. You love it if you have Goddard on your fantasy team, but he has 5 touchdowns and 24 receptions. Simple math tells you that it's going to be very difficult for any player to have 1 touchdown for every 5 receptions. Even Jamar Chase cannot do that.
Do you want to hear a stat about the Vikings though against tight ends?
Let's hear it.
They've given up the 8th most catches, 3 touchdowns to tight
Because
ends. So it might not be this week.
they take the receivers out.
Yep.
So you're looking at the tight end. So yeah, fire up Goddard again.
There we go. Fire him up. Nick Chubb, Woody Marks, go hard or go home against other side of this game that we've been talking about. Other side going up against the Seahawks defense. What do you think for either of them?
Go home for sure.
No question.
Yeah, look, with Nick Chubb, it's dependent on a touchdown, and I think that's going to be difficult to come by. We've seen Seattle's really limited running backs. I mean, ETN 27 yards, Rachaad White 41, Benson 35 on 8 carries, Kamara 42 on 18 carries, Jaylen Warren 48 yards on 14 carries, McCaffrey 69 yards on 22 carries. So you haven't been able to do much against them. So I don't see Nick Chubb being the one to break that.
No.
With Woody Marks, we thought he was ready to be the guy, and then we saw the game before the bye that didn't happen, and the team has basically shown us, we don't think he's ready yet. So difficult to play both of them. So I'll say go home on both.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, neither can be trusted really against the Seattle defense. Again, they're going to be good against this team, and so I'm excited for this game. I do think Nico Collins though. You think Nico Collins has a big game? I've said that CJ Stroud could be if you really are desperate, a streamer if you need it.
They're going to need Stroud to be the guy in this game, and we know he's been running a little bit more too. So yeah, I think that's the way the Texans are going to have a chance to win is via the passing game.
I like it. Again, that was Go Hard or Go Home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there. If you want to give us a follow, send in your questions. I see one here from Joe. Standard League, need to start one of these tight ends, Fannin, Otten, or Ertz. Harold Fannin Jr. is the one that's highest ranked for me. So I would go Fannin. I do think it's close between Fannin and Otten, though.
Yeah, I'm leaning Fannin too. We're just seeing a lot of short passes from Gabriel, and Fannon's coming off a really good game, and David Njoku. Haven't seen any practice reports on Cleveland yet, but we're assuming he's going to be out with this knee injury.
And we're assuming that Mike Evans is good this week, right?
I don't want to assume that yet. That game is also Monday night. So tomorrow's practice will be key, even if he's limited today.
Yeah, he was limited yesterday.
He went to go put on the pads, and then they told him it's not a practice with pads. So he's ready to go. He wants to put on the pads. And
yeah, he wants to get out there.
Yeah, my guess is he plays. But that is a Monday night game, so we cannot be uncertain going into Sunday morning. Because you saw how that worked out last week with Dalton Kincaid. If you didn't have an option.
That was so annoying. Another great example of why, again, I had some questions on this yesterday, and I love when people ask questions, but that was a perfect example of why you don't play your Thursday night players in the flex position.
Never.
because it just limits the options that you have. If someone gets hurt later in the week, then you wouldn't be able to play maybe a tight end or a wide receiver. If you have someone in that running back spot, you have to play a running back. That's what we talk about.
First thing I do when I set my lineups is I look at the time of the games. If I have a running back at 9:30, 1 o'clock, put them in the running back slot, and I put the latest game in the flex. Even if I don't have anyone else available, I just do it.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
just
good
like
practice,
Monday night,
just in case.
Monday night game in the flex, Sunday night game in the flex, and you just look at your roster and go, okay, if this player somehow something happens to them last minute, do I have an option to replace them? And sometimes you don't. And if something happens real last minute, like out of the blue, like sickness or something, there's nothing you could do. But if you know, like in this instance, we know Mike Evans. We're not sure if he's going to be back. So if you have Mike Evans now and you're setting your preliminary lineup, just put him in the flex spot.
Yep,
and
exactly.
And hopefully you do have someone from the 2 Monday night games in case something happens. But I'm hoping that we get official word by Sunday morning that, yes, Mike Evans is going to return.
Nice. Tampa Bay taking on the Lions in this one, and then it is the Seahawks Texans.
Yeah, you almost forgot that your team is playing.
I know I did. Well, I was looking here, but I have it set up weird. So I was looking at Falcons 49ers, but they're Sunday night. So yeah, that's those are the games. One last question here, and then we're moving on from Aaron. So it looks like this is a guillotine league question. Guillotine started slow with Chase Brown and DK Metcalf. Need to hit on 2 of these 3. So Tedderone McMillan, Brian Thomas Jr. or George Pickens with CeeDee back. Which 2?
Thomas and Pickens, right?
Yeah.
And Thomas.
Yeah, I would say so. Ted's, I think I like Ted this week, I hope, but we're going to talk about him here in a second. But yeah, it's going to be Brian Thomas, George Pickens. I'm still alive in all of my guillotine leagues.
Look at
that.
you.
Knock on wood, though, because I need that to continue here. Appreciate you sending that question in, Aaron. But yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., George Pickens in that one. We're going to continue on the matchup notebook, talking about maybe matchups you want to avoid, maybe guys that you just need to bring down your expectations a little bit. We're going to go through those and more here coming up next. If you call yourself a sports fan, you have to have Xfinity. All the games, all in one place. Here is what you get when you watch sports with Xfinity. And you guys already know it is a long list. Sports Zone, every pro football game, and over 1,000 college games, highlights and alerts all in one place. You also get the multi-view. You can be in up to 4 stadiums at once. You get the Xfinity fan view, so that means live scores, odds, and stats all in one place, and that is also personalized to you. And then, of course, enhanced 4K with Xfinity's enhanced 4K, simply stunning. And then you get the voice remote where you can just say football. Imagine all your football all in one place. Easy. Learn more at xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. This is Fantasy Life right here on this Friday. It's almost time to leave work, Adam. It's almost time to tell everyone to leave work. Look at that.
Yes, your favorite time of the week.
It is my
on
favorite.
Friday.
Mind you, it's 9 a.m. Pacific time when I say that. So I might be like, leave work for lunch, don't show up. I'm unsure. But everyone just needs to go ahead and watch the Mariners game today. That's at 3 o'clock.
Well,
you're right,
6
though.
Eastern, right?
6 Eastern, yeah.
Yes.
3 o'clock, 6 Eastern. It'll be.
I hope you're going to. Will you stay awake? Will you be up
Would
at
you
that
get
time?
out of here? Would
I'm
you
just
stop?
checking.
You know
It's
how many
Friday.
people send me messages when I tweet past 8:15 p.m.? And even you've got my mother texting me saying, "You're still up?" I'm like, "Mom, whose side are you on? This is insane."
You don't know how many tweets I got on the Friday night 15-inning game.
Yeah.
Oh, is Kendall awake? Is she watching? And I was like, yeah, I can
awake
assure you she's up.
Oh, that took like years off my life. That took me 2 days to recover from emotionally.
I mean, that,
and
I'm not even a
mentally.
fan of either team. Obviously, I was rooting for Seattle, and that was tense to watch.
Crazy. Yeah, I was sick to my stomach. I'm still sick to my stomach, but it's fine. Everything's going to be great. 3 o'clock. Good vibes in Seattle. I wish I was there today, to be honest. It's probably a beautiful day, crisp fall day in Seattle. There's nothing better. Going to watch that game. Yeah,
yes, they need to get it done today. Let's go.
Well, yeah, thank you. They will. They'll get it done. It'll be fine. Everything will be great. And I will be up for that game. I've already had 2 messages asking for that. So yeah, I'm going to be awake for the 3
Sleep
p.m.
right after it ends, though, right?
And maybe a nap.
Yeah.
You take naps now. Don't lie. Those Sunday naps? You're
no,
tired.
Sunday I can't. Not when there's a 9:30 game. If there's no 9:30 game, I might be able to get in like an hour. Yeah.
Eh, all right. Well,
It's just
I'll
so
take it
busy
then.
though.
It is. Yeah. You have to be awake and ready. Speaking of those games, week 7, matchup notebook. When I say matchups to avoid, it's more me saying, hey, we just have to lower expectations because some of these guys you just can't avoid not starting them. So when we look at some of these players, I saw, that question just came in about Tet McMillan. But Tet going up against the Jets is actually just not the best spot. I still like him this week a little bit, but you probably aren't going to come down with the 2 touchdowns that you got in week 6. The Jets are pretty good against the pass here. You expect them to be better in this game than what we saw last week, right, Adam? It can't, famous last words, it can't get worse than what we saw from Fields. But yeah, the Jets and Tet McMillan, where do you have them this week?
Yeah, I think expectations are lowered. I am starting him in the leagues I have him. He's probably going to see a lot of Sauce Gardner, who has been
Yeah.
beaten this year. We saw Pickens get a touchdown against him a couple weeks ago. But he's still not the easiest matchup, and quarterbacks tend not to throw at him too much. But the volume should be there for McMillan. And last week, they ran the ball so well that they didn't need to throw.
Yeah.
Now, again, he got the 2 touchdowns, but I think it was, 28 yards? So that was a disappointment. So, yeah, I would say this is, a matchup where is not as appealing as usual for McMillan.
I saw, man, where did this go? Oh, here it is. I did see a question, and we got this a lot yesterday and earlier in the week. But this question said, "Listening live, hello, from Henderson. I have Rico and Chuba. What do I do if they both play?" This is the big question, Adam, because I do think Chuba Hubbard is on track to play this week, but if you have Rico, I don't know how you're still playing him. Now, if you have both, that's a very different question because I don't usually carry, it's more handcuff situations. And that's probably what it was when you drafted
You carry
Rico Dell.
handcuffs?
What?
That's what I
No,
thought I
get,
heard.
what are you
Oh,
talking
okay.
about?
That's what I
Oh,
heard.
I see. Get out of here. What are you doing? What is wrong
That's
with
what I
you?
thought I heard you say. I'm just
On
clarifying.
my teams.
Oh,
Oh
okay,
my
okay.
gosh, you're insane.
I know that.
Anyways, you do have handcuffs though, and you make sure that you have those guys with you. But Rico, what are you doing? Are you starting both? You can't start both.
I think you have to play Rico if you're
I did
choosing
too.
between one of the two. And it could not work out. We could be wrong. But again, how do you go away from Rico Dowdle after what we've seen
They
the
might
last
show
2
us.
weeks?
They'll show us how they go away from him, and they split it. Do you not think at least it's going to be a split? That's my biggest worry. Is they come in, we say, okay, Rico Dowdle, and Rico for a good point was never really. Did you ever look at him as a handcuff, or did you always think it was going to be one of the 1A 1B situations?
I didn't think it was going to be 1A, 1B. There was talk about him being involved in the passing game, but I didn't think you would see him enough to start him. So,
Mm.
no. And remember, he was available on
He
the
was
waiver
going
wire in a
late.
lot of
Yeah, so
leagues,
maybe he
too.
was a handcuff. I kind of forget where he was going in drafts.
Like
Way
14th,
late.
15th round. Yeah. There, no one, like
That's what I
everyone.
worry. That's what I worry about this week, though, is that if Chuba's back, they say here's a split. Let's see how it goes. I do still think Rico's the better play, though. I agree with you.
Yeah. Look, if you're asking me, I would take Rico. I'm pretty sure you have Rico ranked ahead of Hubbard. I don't know if
Yeah,
maybe
I
if you're
do.
going to move Hubbard up when he's officially ruled in, if that happens. But yeah, I would go Rico. And again, it could backfire. I mean, they could go to Hubbard and he breaks off some runs early and they go, okay, he's the guy we paid him. Or it could be the opposite where Rico just stays hot. So, but if I had to choose, I would take Rico higher.
Man, we have a really big split between our rankers this week on Rico. I have him at 14. Matthew Friedman has him at 8. Waz has him at 12. Dwayne and Ian have him at 20 and 21. Huh.
I'm assuming though that would still be higher than Chuba Hubbard for
Oh, for
everyone.
sure. Yeah, it is for everyone. They've
Yeah,
got Dwayne and Ian have Chuba sitting at 30 and 31. So 10
I'm
spots
sure
ahead for both.
everyone's I'm sure. I don't know. Are those preliminary thinking
This is me thinking
Hubbard's
because I
going to
do
play?
have Hubbard in, yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, but everyone agrees. I think you roll with Dowdle,
yeah.
and obviously we'll find out this week what they do.
Oh my gosh, it could
I
be.
mean, they both could have big games against the
They
Jets, right?
could.
They could just
Yeah.
run the ball like crazy.
What do you expect from Brees in this one? Not to just make this the Carolina Panthers Jets breakdown, but I mean, Brees Hall, What do you, returning from London again? I say it can't get worse because 5.9 fantasy points on 22 touches. That was just so bad. They totaled 9
Look,
points in that game.
if you have Brees, you're playing him just for the volume. I will say this, though. He has yet to score a touchdown this year, and Carolina's run defense the last 4 weeks has been unbelievable. They've allowed the third fewest rushing yards per game. They've been so much better. But when you look at this Jets offense, what are they going to do? They have to run Hall. They have to throw it to him and Mason Taylor. So you're playing Hall, and you hope that this is the first game of the year that he can score a touchdown.
We're going to go through our favorite flex plays. Maybe, guys, you're not considering that you should start putting in your lineups. Maybe one Jerry, is this the only time that we can say this, Adam? Maybe one Jerry Jeudy is a guy that you want to start this week. Looking at Troy Franklin maybe as well. We're going to break him down here coming up next. Oh, it is Friday. You have made it. Congratulations. Don't go to work per Adam Ronis. Leave for lunch right now.
That's your
Don't
MO.
go back.
I don't tell
Mariners.
people to leave work because I would get in trouble. You could say it and no one would care.
Yeah. You go to lunch and just say, you know what? I unfortunately can't come back. I have to watch the Mariners win. What game is this? Game 5.
Game 5. Big game.
Stop. I know. I'm sick to my stomach. They've taken years off my life. I really am. I'm not even actually lying about that.
I was saying this to someone. I'm like, do you know how many years that I have lost probably between betting and fantasy, the stress and agony? Like this past week was one of the worst.
Sleep.
Yeah. This past week was one of the worst. Like
really?
I was just so distressed. Yeah. I mean, when you have
you had a bad week.
Puka, Egbuka, Ridley, all these guys going down. If one of those guys stayed healthy, I would have gotten a win in GST. Instead, 4-2, and team is trending downward.
Well, you can't win them all.
I want to win them all.
I know. I know. But it's Friday. We've made it. It's going to be a great weekend of football. We're excited. Speaking of, just one more question on Dallas. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. I have them both inside my top 10 going into this weekend. You think that they're going to be able to live up to those expectations?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Pickens, possibly maybe a little lower, but either way, I'm starting Pickens. We've seen that this team is going to throw a lot. Their defense is atrocious, and Pickens only had like one down game when he played with CeeDee Lamb, and that was week 1 when Quinshon Mitchell was on him. But Pickens was getting 9 targets in the other games. There's plenty to go around because, again, they're going to just play in a lot of shootouts. I just don't see them shutting anyone down. I mean, the defense is a disaster. There's so many guys wide open, running backs with huge lanes. And the offense is playing very well. That's the one thing. The Cowboys offense has been excellent.
See a question here from Drew. Darnold or Stroud, full point PPR. I'm saying Darnold in this one, but it is a little bit closer. They're only separated by 2.
Yeah, Darnold's playing very well, but the volume's not there. That's the only issue.
Houston's, that's going to be, I'm really excited for this game. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Texans defense is good.
You would go Darnold, though, over Stroud, or no?
I actually might go Stroud. I think he's going to have to throw more, and he's running a little bit too.
A big game. So, they need Nico Collins to have a big game. That's the other thing on the other side of this matchup. So, I've got Darnold ahead right now, so I'm going to go with what I have in my rankings. But make sure you check back on those. FantasyLife.com is where you can get all of our rankings. We update them every single day. Favorite flex plays, seeing some, chatter about Jerry Jeudy, and maybe, I joked going out of the break that this might be the only time that we can say Jerry Jeudy's name, but the Browns are at home, and they are playing the Miami Dolphins. So it does feel like an opportunity where if you need to, because he's been nothing short of disappointing. That's just all we can say about him. So if you have a spot, what do you think about Jerry Jeudy in the flex?
I don't love it. I have him in one league, and I think he's on my bench right now. Again, the weather is something we have to pay attention to. There are reports of some real heavy winds, but again, check back Sunday morning before the game because weather can change so much in the next 48 hours.
You like Fannin this week, though, in that game?
Yeah.
Because Njoku, where was the last update? I haven't seen it yet.
He didn't practice yesterday. I know that.
Should be out this week. But make sure you pay attention to that one. What about, I've seen good things going on around Troy Franklin for the Denver Broncos, because we've seen Franklin and Pat Bryant kind of be in a battle to be that second receiver for Bo Nix behind Courtland Sutton. What do you think here with Troy Franklin or either of them in the flex?
Yeah, I don't like that the snaps have been going down a little bit for Franklin, but a great matchup in the slot. So, yes, I do think this is a good week for Franklin.
There we go. You want game predictions? Seattle Seahawks, Houston Texans. Who you taking?
The Seahawks.
Oh, yeah. Love that. Bucks Lions. We're just going to go through all the...
Lions. I think this is
Okay.
a big, big spot for the Lions to bounce back after the loss last week, and I just think the injuries will catch up to Tampa, and these last-minute wins
It's gonna
come
be a
to an
good
end this
game.
week.
I like it. Falcons, 49ers. 49ers at home.
That one's a tough one.
It is.
I might go 49ers. Falcons
Yeah.
have struggled on the road, especially Penix.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers on that one as well. It's going to be a great week. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us this week. FantasyLife.com/comment to go get Fantasy Life Plus for free. Everyone enjoy your Friday. Go Mariners. We'll see you
Go
on
Mariners.
Monday. Yes.